Um, to start with, I was reading a book the other day on West Wing, and it told me most of America, we Americans don't know much about our government, except from the TV and what the TV is talking about. But I tell you, as for me, I believe in research and reading of books, which I'll tell you today. What do we all know about the relationship between the federal government and the law they pass? My name is Nicholas, and to start with, I would like to thank Andrew B. Arnold, the author of the Pocket Guide to the US Constitution, because he brought the explanation of this my speech. To go on with, I believe every one of us know one or two things about the federal government, but I would like to give you some little information that will enlighten your memory. Federal government has always made up of three branches of government, which are the legislature, the legislative, the executive, and the judiciary. What do we know about the legislative? I will call it the Congress, which everyone knows it. It is comprised, the Congress, it comprised of Senate and the House of Representatives. According to the founders, the view of the legislature as a leading branch of the government is to, the founder viewed the legislature as a leading branch of government that can be reached by the people. And we all know that through this, legislature is made up of the Senate, which we all know two people are from each state, and the belief is from everyone. Everyone chose them. And the president is referred to as the executive. This is where, enumerated power, this is where the enumerated power lies. The president has the authority to appoint judges, ambassadors, make treaties, grant pardons, and many other officials. It is also based on the knowing that the Congress is also the main idea of which the bills can be passed. Unfortunately, the Constitution never divides the principle of the judiciary, and which I've talked about the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. But it is to establish the role and protect its own role. It is to establish and protect its own role. Its relationship with the two branches has been worked out in practice, which we can see in the case of Melanie versus Madison in 1803, that made the court insist on its right to rule the constitutionality of the laws. I will continue to talk further by chipping in the relationship of the federal government with the law it passes. From the definition of the branches of government, their relationship with law are different. Legislative pass the law, executive enforce the laws, and the judiciary decides constitutionality of law. And the question, how does it work? Firstly, even if a member of the Congress, the White House, or a federal agency has spent months developing and drafting a piece of legislation, it does not become a bill until it is submitted officially by the Senate or presented to the clerks of the House of Senate and referred to the appropriate committee before being deliberated. No flux action or any bills can be taking place until the committee with jurisdiction over it has taken all the time it needed to deliberate. Passing a bill out of committee or through one of the House of Congress is no guarantee that a bill will become a law. Before the bill is being passed to the president, both houses must pass it in the identical form. Once the bill is ready, it goes straight to the president. It is left for the president to sign it into a law or veto it. What do we all know by veto? Veto is the president's constitutional power to prevent a bill from becoming a law. If the bill is vetoed, the Congress adjourn it to prevent the president from returning it. A president veto may be a overridden by a 2/3 of votes in both the House and the Senate, which will not allow them to turn the bill into law. The judiciary here, it hears the case of the legislation or requires interpretation of that legislation, which is they are appointed by the president and confirmed by the Senate. Because with the three of them in together, the legislature has its own part to play, the executive, which we all know as the president, and the judiciary, which helps in hearing the legislation that the legislature is presenting, and who is trying to interpret it for them, and it's just only by the saying of the president. Okay, in conclusion, the legislature are our own representative. They speak for us. That's what we all believe, because we chose them. And when they speak for us, they pass the bill for us to the president. And before the president can sign any bill to law, he has to look into it. From today's word that I've just spoken, I would like you to know that the functions of the three governments today, we should remember to give thanks to our founders, which have brought this in together to make the unity of our government to be in place. But we should always remember that the president is our executive, the legislature are the Congress, and the judiciary are the court. Thank you.
Thank you.